your life if you worry about your own stuff. It's your main man, Action Jackson. There you're rocking with the Brunch Bunch right here on Inspiration 1390. We got a great show for you today. Listen, the mayor of the city of Chicago, the great city of Chicago, Mayor Brandon Johnson, will be with us. Of course, it is Community Chatter Tuesday, and Wynona Redmond, a win-win communication always brings the noise. We may not have many hot topics, but we're gonna talk some hot topics with our guests. You know what? As Charmaine from Uncle Remus Saucy Fried Chicken always says, call your friends and your frenemies and tell them to tune in to the Brunch Bunch right here on Inspiration 1390. What's wrong?
That iPad never has echo, and it does today.
I didn't mute none yet.
I know, but I muted her.
I'm gonna ask.
It's a brunch.
Did you send it to security?
I did. Karen Dillinger? Yeah. That mean?
They on. What happened to commercials though?
I'm sorry. I'm going to work through it after the trying to send the email.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what happened?
I'm going to make sure Samara gets it too.
Okay, please. Uh-huh. Give me this case. Okay. No, I'm gonna switch phones out.
Oh, okay.
Where's my somebody stole my stand?
The white one, I said somebody stole.
No, I my black one that moved with me.
Oh yeah. Well, somebody stole our white one too.
Okay, we need you for pictures today. Zoe, what in the heck did you? What is this song?
Canton Jones here.
Softballs.
What?
Questions.
Hey, if it was Trump, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Do one for all.
Right, What's up, Facebook? Curveballs. Sometimes these life events can seriously hurt your credit score.
Oh.
Be watching that phone. A car or starting a business. Well, lucky for you, the professionals at Lumpkin and Fitch are great at they can help you address all those inaccurate. What up?
What up? It smells delicious up in here.
Oh my goodness.
Tammy, I need some of your perfume.
I know,
And
right?
my son was like, is Tammy still selling the cologne? I was like,
Absolutely. She's expanding. How old is he?
He's 16 now.
Oh, sure.
He was like,
He good for
helped
cute.
me in my middle school career with the ladies. I'm like, stop. I'm gonna let her know that though.
I am super excited about that.
Okay, she said she's adding for security.
Okay.
She up here already.
Who?
Talking about Deanna.
Karen.
Karen, what they up there?
Karen up
there. What you texting me for? Okay. Outside.
How you gonna say what I want to call them downstairs?
I don't understand it.
I don't either. But you don't play.
He'd be so nice to everybody else, saying hey and stuff.
He speak.
And then something just happened when he just be upset.
He didn't speak for a minute.
He didn't. And finally, I said to him, you could be nicer. Then he started being really nice.
It's like, I get security rules, but they together and you saw me. And he still didn't. I said,
he
but
don't do that with me no more.
I was rushing, so I said, let me get up here, I got y'all.
Count on your first service.
What's going on, Instagrammers?
Does he have a link?
Who? I doubt it. Let me see, where is it? No call coming, Zoe?
Nope, not yet.
Zoe's so optimistic. No, not yet.
I'm looking. It's right in front of me. I hope he
Be Queens. B.E. Hello, Cerise. I love you.
They told him 12:30.
Oh my God. Hey, what's up, KP?
Okay,
How you?
bring them in. We're gonna shift it a little.
Yeah, we're gonna have.
I mean, we'll talk with them now just to start. Then when he called, we'll shift to him. Then we'll come back.
Okay, that makes sense.
I don't want.
You guys. Okay, I'm gonna
You can do Black History.
Oh, I know who this is.
Oh, you know what? Well, I do get all these ideas at the end of the month, right? I'm like, on my day lead, you should be doing.
Huh?
So Wynona is coming.
Well, bring them in. Let's start with them because I don't want to.
Well, right.
Time to be.
Went out the door.
Oh. Okay.
Ready? Okay, yes, I'm ready. I love the fact that you.
Tom, we just gonna include them for the whole hour.
Now I have my fist closed. Well, today in Black History, Hiram Rhodes Revels broke the color barrier in the United States government when he became the first African-American senator on February the 25th, 1870. Revels moved to Mississippi after the Civil War and was elected to one of the state's vacant U.S. Senate seats before they rejoined the Union. Well, Revels' credentials were not welcomed at first. Newsflash. Nobody's surprised about that, right?
Nope.
But by some of the members of the Senate, and they falsely claimed that he had not been a citizen for the 9 years required of all senators. Well, does that remind you of somebody? He was not a U.S. citizen. Well, and the blacks were granted citizenship only 4 years earlier through the 1866 Civil Rights Act. But Revels was born to free blacks and was a registered voter in Ohio many years before. So he was inducted into the House of Congress.
I love it. You know, where did I just hear a story similar to this?
Obama.
Well, no, I'm talking about somebody locally. Oh, you know what?
He's local. He's from Chicago.
Where do you be quiet? Ohio. But listen, our Speaker of the House, and they were talking about, they gave him a very good honor down in Springfield, Chris Welch, and they talked about the house where Lincoln served and how at one point the house was no black folks, basically. So, you know, this is good history. We still making history is the sad part of it, right?
Well,
we got our first black speaker in Illinois, and, you know, hundreds of years later.
Well, you know what? Just to see these kind of dates, 1870, when black people weren't really allowed in these kinds of positions, and to see how things are unraveling as we watch our civil liberties that were fought, died for, just crumble overnight. You know, it's really keeps us our eyes on the prize and our fingers on the pulse, because we cannot backslide in this way.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We love Black History here on the Brunch Bunch, and that was our Black History fact. And we're going to keep this party rolling. We're going to keep smiling. Like Kirk Franklin said in the song, I Smile, right here on the Brunch Bunch.
Barbara's here?
Barbara who?
I think it's going to take a little faster.
I can tell. Let me just tell my daughter. But tell them.
I tried.
Oh, yeah, we got it.
No, I'm going to
Oh, thank you for these checks, y'all. Check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Listen, I see people I haven't seen on here ever. Jack Stylus. I love you, girl. Y'all, thank you so much for joining us. Did you know that we were interviewing the mayor today? Oh, maybe not. I don't know. But we are interviewing the mayor today. So you guys get to get a double bubble. Yeah. So we're going to do them right. How about that? But if you got questions for the mayor, please put them in the comments. We definitely want to get your voices heard. But don't let it stop here on Inspiration 1390. Let your voices be heard throughout the city of Chicago. If you live in Chicago, if you vote in Chicago, if you have businesses in Chicago, you definitely want to make sure that your presence and your voices and your values are being heard in City Hall. And who better to talk to about them than the leader of City Hall, Mayor Brandon Johnson. We're looking forward to it. We also have other special guests today, as we normally do, because of course, you know, it's always our aim to send you back better than you came. I'll be right back, y'all. Don't go nowhere.
Tax season doesn't have to be stressful. At ELS Pros Tax Office, we've been delivering professional, reliable service for over 20 years. Located conveniently in the Soul City corridor on Chicago Avenue, we're here to help you get the maximum refund you deserve. And if you're outside Chicago, no problem. We offer nationwide services to meet your needs wherever you are. Call ELS Pros Tax Office today.
Okay, so we're going to get y'all rocking and roll.
To schedule your appointment for special pricing and an unmatched tax experience.
Yep.
That's 773-887-5488.
She said you can almost, do this yourself.
Experience and here to serve you.
Always they gonna go right into women.
Oh, look.
Someone's at your door. Would you rather be caught off guard or be in control?
Safety isn't optional. It's a necessity.
I'm back.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's do it. I got you.
They're gonna be in the room.
And right now, Secure Home Automation is offering an exclusive deal for new customers. Don't wait until it's too late.
So that works, see?
866-447-3345.
Tanya Lee, what's going on? Cold battery? Oh, Kobe. I'm just gonna call you Kobe. What?
Well, Wynona not here right now, so just give them both of them up.
Oh, she will have a mic.
Mother Wade.
Oh.
So today we're going to focus right now on Women of Excellence. Diana's going to talk about some of the great honorees. And what is Mother Wade's role today?
Did everybody tell Mother Wade not to cuss on the radio?
Well, you know what? I'll make sure, because she did just cuss to me in the hallway.
You got
Zoe,
the
get your dump button.
I love her to pieces.
I'm glad you said that, because she was just very colorful in our conversation in the hallway.
Oh, Adam, can you make sure she knows
Hey,
that?
I'll dump it and I'll make sure that.
Well, just ask her, because she will do what you ask her, but sometimes she'll forget.
So she's talking Black history.
She is Black history.
She is definitely Black history.
Yes.
And I think some of her recipes are going to truly reflects their legacy.
During your time of need.
Are you serious?
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, yeah.
Don't let me mess it up.
You'll just lead it in and we'll let her,
Yeah, 40 seconds to end the room.
So you got the bio for Diane.
I don't need Diane's bio. I got it in mind.
All right. I'm like, who is Diane and them voting for today? What election have I missed? Ah.
So we know there's a whole lot of stuff that needs to be
Oh, yeah.
You ready?
Call 773-471-4444. Churchview Supportive Living is an equal housing opportunity.
You know, it's always a pleasure when we have repeat guests that are also family that have been inducted to the Hall of Brunch Bunch fame. So absolutely, we are so honored to have Diana Knight Lewis back. She's a seasoned media professional with 17-year career, currently serving as regional vice president at Real Time Media. She has done an amazing job over at the Defender, and we are super honored to have her back in the building.
And joining her is none other than the amazing Karen Dilligard with over 25 years of experience in her industry. Karen has a keen ability to understand a client's personality and vision and infusing these elements to all facets of your event. And she is a taskmaster when it comes to planning and executing an event. You want somebody like Karen on your team, and Diana keeps her around for a reason. Let's welcome her to the front line.
All right. Well, you guys are doing some amazing things. And one of the amazing things, your signature is the Women of Excellence, which is coming up next month.
March 21st, Women's History Month.
Is it sold out yet?
It is not sold out yet.
Can you believe it? It's still time, y'all. Let me tell you something. Once March 1st hits,
I was going to say
those tickets are going to go like hotcakes. And if any of you all have known how hotcakes go to a pancake house or go to the White Palace. hotcakes fly, just like these tickets do.
I love it. I love it. It's always, every year we sell out. So we are 365, 24/7 Black at the Chicago Defender. And we are always honored and excited and thrilled to spotlight our African American women and men too.
You said that like a song, like that was the hook. So it's 50 amazing women crossing the stage on March the 21st. It's 21st, right?
March the 21st, Friday, March the 21st at the Sheraton Grand Hotel.
And what better way to honor Women's History Month?
Yes, no better way for us. No better way.
Well, I was just going to say, for the people in the back who or maybe been living under a rock and don't know what the Women of Excellence, Chicago Defender Women of Excellence is, talk about why you started this event and what it's all about.
Well, it's important for us, the Chicago Defender, to, like I said, to feature, to spotlight positivity within our African American community. So it only makes sense for us to begin with the 50 women of excellence and 50 men of excellence. And it used to be called 50 men of excellence, 50 women of excellence. We dropped the 50, but we still honor 50. And people said, oh, you'll never be able to keep this up. Well, each day we're getting more and more upcoming individuals that are doing amazing things. So we never run out of getting 50. We had over 400 nominations for women.
And it was hard to choose those 50.
It was very difficult to choose 50.
Well, I know it's difficult because I get about 1,000 DMs asking, can you please nominate me for Women of Excellence? They just think I'm the plug now. But Karen, I want you to talk about why this event is so special to you.
Wow. Women and men of excellence are amazing. I get to meet so many phenomenal men and women who are doing great things in their jobs in the community. And I'm blessed to be the person selected to really communicate with everyone. So you call me the taskmaster. I don't know about that, but I try to make it.
Every organization needs one. Just trust me.
But we want to highlight these people,
Yes.
and so I want to do everything that I can to make sure they're well informed, and so that the day runs smoothly.
Well, you two are certainly women of excellence, and in the spirit of excellence, you have invited yet another woman of excellence who we all know and love. Mother Wade is stepped into the building, and of course, you all know Josephine. She's got a fantastic cafe and restaurant over in Chatham, and we are honored to have you, Mother Wade. Thank you so much for joining us on the brunch
to be here. And when I saw you, I just almost wept.
Oh,
and when you talking about the woman of excellence, first of all, I want to commend her because there are women that is never thought of, and without this program that she does, they would never ever come to the forefront. I do a lot of things in Chicago, and I do a lot of things for a lot of people that never makes the media.
Mm-hmm.
But when they highlighted me last year, it was though that they validated me to be who I dream to be. I'm a person that is seen in the back of moving and shaking and politics and all that. And for her and Karen to do what they did for me, it would be remiss of me not to support and boost who these women really are. They're hidden treasures.
well, you certainly aren't hidden.
Community.
You certainly aren't hidden.
No.
You got Captain Hard Times, and it's been going on, and that's where you have good times over at Captain Hard Times.
Josephine Southern Cooking is
I
the
know.
name. Yeah.
Well, of course Victor did. Of course he did. But for the legacy that it has created, it was for the most part. I mean, you go in there, you see politicians, movers and shakers, your own company included.
But this is the thing about that restaurant.
What's the thing?
That restaurant has never been to me, and I weep because I'm sitting among so much talent here, and I'm just crying. But that restaurant has never been what people really thought it was. The restaurant has always been a bridge for people that didn't have access to City Hall, didn't have access to the school board, didn't have access to politicians and all that. And we have always been in the community to help the homeless and the less privileged. I focus on things and people that people never dream about. If y'all see some of the stuff that I do, really, and Ronnie Manuel, Michael Sachs, them, they always supported me because they know our undergirds the least expected.
Yeah.
A lot of parents is in prison, and their grandmothers would send them over, and I started working them at 12 and 11, trying to validate. And I got kids.
They had permits, y'all, so don't come. Don't come for.
I've had kids that go to Harvard and everything and recognize me from once they graduate and stuff. And they say, "Hey, Mother Wade, remember me?" I started working there when I was 13 and stuff. So it have served more of a community thing than a food thing.
Well, I'm a West Sider through and through, as everybody knows. So I didn't grow up coming to Josephine's Southern Cooking or Captain Hard Times, but my first time there, I got to sit and talk to Elsie Higginbottom.
Right.
And it was like, wow, I'm in this
place.
I should have been coming all along. And then to be able to meet Mother Wade, and she adopted me as a godson, and she called, and she's always looking out. And so I can attest to, she's always looking to help other people. But that's why Wynona is connected, because Wynona is the queen of connecting people these days.
But you know, my favorite scripture is, to whom much is given, much is required. And you know, we say 365 days Black. But February just happens to be Black History Month, and March happens to be Women's History Month. So the guest today really reflects so much to me. You know, Real Times Media has made history reporting our stories all over the country all these years. And so to have Diana Lewis and Kira Dilligard having done years of women of excellence, men of excellence, and we are coming with Who's Who in Black Chicago later this year. But as far, you know, to have them here, Diana made Mother Wade a lifetime achievement. So I'm so honored. I'm so honored to personally have her here, because I'm from the West Side, Marcel. But guess what? When we say Mother Wade, she has been a mother to us as corporate women. She was like, between her and Reverend Barrow, one day I was doing something, you know, Reverend Barrow protested with St. John so bad that they sent her St. John. But one day I did something with Reverend Barrow, and she was like, they better not ever mess with you. How about when I was at Dominic's and I decided to take another job, they had to explain to Mother Wade what made me leave.
That's right.
They said, will you please call her off, because we can't talk about the fact that you resigned and took another job. But she called. But she
tell them, I didn't even know, you didn't think I knew where the corporate office was in California.
But Cheryl Grace and I were talking. Cheryl was at Nielsen. Mother Wade has truly been a mentor. She's been a mother of the movement. And she had Captain Hard Times. People on Hard Times could come and eat and be fed. So that's just a brick and mortar. But we are moving into a new phase when her recipes are history and they're being put other places. So we know that we dedicated a street named after her, but just having Black history right here. And
it's amazing.
And I know we always run out of time, but we just love you. And we give you your flowers while you are here. And she looking jazzy, beautiful, and spicy.
Well, you know what?
I wanted to say this. Because she said she didn't have much. This is the first time in history that Airmarks and CPS have had a Black African American to partner with them. And I have 25 recipes in all public schools from 12 through K. First time in history.
Wow.
That is and her recipes are something else. One day I was sitting at her in the restaurant with her, and she was saying, Wynona, I can put you on a healthy eating plan and lose you some weight, but try this fried apple pie.
Well, listen, you know what? I'm so glad that we're intentional on the show. We're talking Black history, we're talking women history, And we have history going on right now in the city of Chicago. And when we get back, we're going to talk to our mayor, Mayor Brandon Johnson. And then we're coming back with these fabulous women.
Yes.
Like Charmaine from Uncle Remus always says, call your friends and your frenemies and tell them to tune in to the Brunch Bunch right here on Inspiration 1390.
Awesome.
All right.
So
we're going to just take a quick break. We do 5 or 10 minutes with the mayor. He calling in. So, you break your back.
Yes.
Zoe couldn't check until we took the break.
Oh, you say yes.
Hi, this is 1390.
Oh, yes.
They didn't tell me.
Hi, Mr. Johnson. We're going to come right to you after
And
this
then I said
song
to
break,
myself,
okay?
What's going on?
What's going on?
Yes, I am.
Hold on one moment.
And I didn't look at these dudes.
Oh, I know she look good.
All right.
I
Marcel wants what's going on to come in before we come in, all right?
Trust me, you look good.
You can fade this up. But we need,
They won't need a mic, right? Nobody else is gonna be talking.
No.
Right?
Where's the action, Jackson?
I'll tell you what's going on. What's going on is we have been talking to history makers, and I'm so excited to have a history maker on the line. Joining us on the Brunch Bunch is a leader at the forefront of shaping Chicago's future, Mayor Brandon Johnson. He's a former teacher, union organizer, and Cook County Commissioner. Mayor Johnson has been a champion of working families, public safety reform, and equitable investment in our communities. Since taking office, he has prioritized economic development, education, and addressing Chicago's housing and public safety challenges with a people-first approach. He's from the great west side of Chicago. Let's give a warm welcome to Mayor Brandon Johnson. What's up, Mayor Johnson? How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thank you, Brother Action Jackson, for that introduction, and good afternoon to all of your listeners.
Now listen, we didn't plan it like this, but we got heavy hitters in the room. We got Wynona Redmond, Mother Josephine Wade, Diana Knight Lewis, Karen Dilligard, and Tamara Fair. We got questions for you, man. We got questions. You ready for these ladies?
Well, it sounds like you don't need me there, Brother Jackson.
Well, we are super excited to have you here on the show, Mayor Johnson. And so, we've been watching you, of course, and you've been doing some moving and shaking on your own. But what are 3 things that you would say to Black Chicago that doesn't know how you've supported our communities and you want them to know about it?
Well, thank you for that question. First of all, as people know in the city of Chicago, and I've experienced this as an organizer, as a teacher, and as my wife and I raising our kids in the beautiful Austin neighborhood on the west side of Chicago for decades. Administrations have disinvested in our communities. School closures, shutting down public housing, eliminating good paying jobs. And so since I've been in office, the first thing that I did was put Black people in charge. I want the people of Chicago to know that Black folks are running the city of Chicago, from our chief operations officer to my deputy mayor for infrastructure, deputy mayor for education, deputy mayor for economic neighborhood development, our police superintendent. I can go on and on, my senior advisor, my policy apparatus, our budget director, Black woman. So we have put strategic minds in charge of our city. And what is that translated into? A $1.25 billion investment for housing and economic development. It's the largest investment in the history of Chicago, particularly for the west and south sides. And one of the things that we've already shown up around is repopulating the city of Chicago with working people. We built almost 4,000 affordable homes just last year in our Department of Planning and Development, $11 billion of new investments, 37,000 construction jobs for almost 10,000 units. So we are building more homes. We have a new initiative called the Social Green Housing program that's going to allow us to build more rental units that are affordable and sustainable. We have this Missing Middle project for all the large swaths of vacant land in the city. We are working with developers who are purchasing it together. Of the 6 developers, 5 of them are Black. We reopened mental health clinics. The first mayor since Mayor Harold Washington, I reopened the Roseland Southside Health Clinic. We provide mental health services at the Legsville Library on the west side of Chicago, the lower west side of Chicago at the Pilsen Clinic. And then we're investing in youth and workforce development. We hire hired almost 28,000 young people for summer jobs. We now are prepared and positioned to hire 29,000 young people for summer jobs. Most of them are on the west and south sides of Chicago, and violence is going down. 25% reduction
That's
in
huge.
overall violent crime just this year alone. Every single year that I've been in office, we've seen a precipitous decline in violence. And then the last thing is we built a one system initiative for our unhoused Chicagoans. For the first time in the history of Chicago, we've seen a 120% increase in beds for shelters, people who are in very dire straits. And just the 311 mechanism where people call for housing, not one single family that called for shelter had to wait for shelter. 82% roughly just last week were unhoused Chicagoans had access, and 70% of unhoused Chicagoans are Black. So I'm showing up for our people by hiring our people and investing in our neighborhoods.
You know what I also like about that is that a lot of them are Black women.
And Mayor Johnson, this is Wynona Redmond. Tamara asked you the top 3 things, but I have to come back to what I'm the most impressed about, which is not only are you a preacher's kid, you have included pastors. And the night we were in the church before you were elected, I said, I feel something. I told Camille Lilly, I feel something. The way you've engaged pastors in a city that needs healing. Dr. Mildred Harris, Mother Harris, definitely praise over you. And we have Real Times Media, Diana Lewis in the house, as you've made history hiring the most number of department heads. So we are so happy to hear more about the fact that you have a record number of department heads. So Real Times Media, you've been a man of excellence. We're talking about who's who in Black Chicago and all that you're doing.
Yes.
From the West Side.
Mayor Johnson, we're living, as the late, great Reverend Clay Evans would say, we're living in some crucial times. Times of uncertainties, times of unrest. We don't know what politicians are going to do. I want to go to Washington, D.C. You've been invited to testify before Congress next month. And we know that there's some crazy things happening in D.C. right now. What key issues will you be addressing, and what do you hope to accomplish from your testimony?
Well, you're absolutely right. We are living in some very trying times. I liken it to, it's the way the president is behaving right now. He's the tempter at the end of a 40-day fast. And I say that because, we have been moving with great intentionality around how we show up for our people, how we invest in our people. Matthew 6:21, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And that's why we're investing in our young people. We're investing in housing. And what I hope to get across is that the people of Chicago are always going to show up for one another, even during difficult times. We're going to make sure that we show up for our young people, particularly as I work to invest more in our public education system. I'm the first mayor, I'm the only mayor in the history of Chicago to actually send my children to the public schools in Chicago. That's how much I believe in public education. I'm a product of public education. I've taught in our public schools. And, I'm going to lift up the message around how we have responded to this housing crisis. Like, look, in order for us to really build a better, stronger, safer Chicago, you have to invest in our infrastructure. You have to invest in housing, and more specifically, affordable housing. And I'm going to tell that story. One of the things I think Chicagoans should be proud of, that a Black Haitian immigrant fell in love with a Potawatomi woman. John Baptiste Point DuSable and Kitiawa, they established this city at the bank of the river, and they saw Chicago as the global capital of the world. And the best example I can give is that through that vision, now you have a Black first family that is living out the aspirations and the hopes of our ancestors. And though there are challenges around the globe, there are challenges around the country, and challenges right here in the city of Chicago, I believe that Chicago is it's the Joseph anointing, where we can take care of our siblings and feed the world at the same time. That's the message that I'm going to convey, that there's more than enough for everyone if we actually make sure that we see each other's humanity.
Well, Mayor Johnson, that was excellent. But can you address how city government, any government actually, has a disconnect between local government and the people that it serves?
So what are you and your administration doing to ensure that Black Chicagoans feel heard, engaged, and at the table in city decision making?
Yeah, that's a great question. Let me just say this. So, and Action Jackson knows my number hasn't changed. So, like everybody's mama still have my number, and trust me, they still text me and call me. And in fact, you know, one of the most trying times in my administration is when we had the torrential rainfall back in 2023. Unprecedented rain. Many of my neighbors on the west side of Chicago flooded out. And we secured $426 million from the federal government to actually help repair and restore those homes on the west side of Chicago, particularly in Austin. And we're going to make sure that Black folks actually do the work. So not only are we going to repair these homes, we're going to ensure that the developers and those who actually repair those homes look like the community in which they're serving. Something that I'm doing is three things. One, we're doing these lakeside chats where we actually go into communities and have direct conversations. Just last Friday, we met with 57 faith leaders and community-based leaders at UCAN to hear directly from them. Going into senior homes, I'm doing something called Faith in Government. We have our next stop. We were at Pastor Thurston's church on the south side. We'll be with Pastor Gunn and Pastor Edie on the west side on Wednesday, hearing directly from the people. I'm going to continue to do that. And speaking of our faith leaders, whether it's Pastor Whitley on the west side or Pastor Contrell Jenkins on the west side, where we've invested millions of dollars into their project. Reverend Marshall Hatch along Madison, we've invested millions of dollars into those projects, those programs. So we're going right to the people, having these community town halls where it's unscripted. People can ask whatever they want of me, and I'm going to continue to show up across the city. So if you're on the west side, I'll make sure you get that information tomorrow night. Between Pastor Gunn and Pastor Edie, there's a Faith in Government tour. I'm going to be there for over an hour and a half, where I hear directly from the people of Chicago so they know how to stay engaged.
Well, I'm glad that he is not lying. He has not changed his number. And for those of you, he has not moved either, you know.
I called him, he didn't answer my call.
He didn't say he was going to answer all the calls. He said he didn't change the number.
He definitely didn't say that.
But, Mayor, you know, we got a powerhouse in the room, and I know Wynona.
He just amplified exactly what I said. Mayor, this is Wynona. But again, the pastors and how you not only had them pray you into office, you have engaged them, and they have shown that that's why they're trusted voices. But the empowerment that you've given, the resources you've given, and letting them be part of the solution, it's just exciting to see your work with pastors. We knew you were an educator and what you've done with children, but just commending you. And the record, as you go to testify in DC, you have department heads, you have a record-breaking number of investment and talent as well.
And I suggest you take some of those pastors to DC with you.
Yes.
Well, I can say this, you know, my wife and I, you know, and you know, who is a history maker in her own right. Her focus has been on maternity health and environmental justice as the first Black First Lady in the history of Chicago, and certainly praise for me. We can feel the prayers. The reason why we have not broken or bent or bowed at this moment is because I know the prayers are reaching our home as well as our city. There are so many families that are still struggling, but we're going to show up for them. And I'll say it like this. Look, there are people who know that the wealthy and the oligarchs are trying their best to get us to bow down. And, you know, whether there's a threat to throw me in a den or a fiery furnace, we're not going to bow down to any of the oligarchs in this country, because we serve one God. And I'm convinced, you know, that we can show up for people in a way that reflects our values. And that's why, again, you know, I would encourage people to attend the People's Church of the Harvest, 3570 West Fifth Avenue on the west side, where they can ask questions directly to me. And I appreciate the prayers. And we will have people going with us to D.C., and I know there are folks there that are going to be awaiting us. But just know that, you know, your brother that you all pray for, that is leading this city in this moment, as we invest in young people, as we build more affordable homes, as we invest in behavioral and mental health, as we hire our people, just know that the better, stronger, safer Chicago that I believe is possible, it really requires us to invest in people. And it's going to take all of us. Not one person can do this by themselves. And so I'm grateful that we have support across the city, building a more equitable economy for everyone.
Well, Mayor, we're talking Black history. We're moving into Black Women's History Month, as we call it here on the Brunch Bunch. We have a history maker in the studio, Mother Josephine Wade, who has a question for you.
Good morning, Mayor. And you know I love you and I support everything you're doing. But I think that people are really trying to miss what you're trying to do. You're trying to break 10 to 15 decades of quote, quote, business in a different manner. And the way that you're trying to do it is open up the process. And people sometimes don't understand that. But what you're doing is you're moving in the right direction. You're changing the dynamics of the way the city do business. I love that. And I support most of the things that you do. And you just keep on doing your town hall meetings and staying in the forefront, because I'm always going to have your back, Mother.
And you actually gave the address, 3570 West 5th Avenue. What do people have to do in order to attend? Do they register? They just show up?
That's a good question. I don't believe you have to register. You can just show up. You know, I would encourage that if folks do register, I think it actually helps. You know, I think if folks could just reach out to Pastor Edie or Pastor Dunn, and I trust that Action Jackson, you know, has those respective numbers. You know, but if you're not able to attend, we will be broadcasting it and streaming it live from the city's website, so folks can watch it there. We had, I would say, over 2,000 people watching last time at Pastor Thurston's church. And the real goal of all of this is to not only hear directly from people, but one of the things I want to do is to make sure that people know what's available to them. If there's one thing that frustrates me, is that not enough of our people know what's available to them. You know, if more people that we had youth jobs, if you know young people between the ages of 14 and 24, I want to hire them. More people who need affordable homes. I want to put more people in affordable homes. You know, more people who want access to our services at our community colleges. Through our outreach, you all, check this out. Our community colleges enrollment has gone up every single year over the last few years, but the number one registrant of community colleges are young Black men. This idea that our young brothers don't have purpose and drive, it's not true. We are going to our grammar schools as well as our high schools, recruiting young people to enroll in our community colleges. And that's going to be important because we have $20 billion of new investments since I've been in office. We have the big 1901 project on the west side of Chicago, outside the United Center. We need the next group of laborers who can help build that infrastructure. The southeast side of Chicago, we haven't had development over there since the steel mills closed. I'm the first mayor to actually bring economic development there. We're talking about billions of investments since I've been in office. And Mother Wade, you're absolutely right. That's why we're having these town hall meetings, because I want ears to be open. I want eyes to be open. And I want ears to hear and eyes to see what is happening in this moment. Because, look, a better, stronger, safer Chicago is possible. We cannot get discouraged. We don't serve a God that drops us off halfway through our assignment.
I know that's right.
I know that's the truth.
Preaching, son.
Well, Mayor, thank you for all that you're doing. I do want to shout out. The event is going down Wednesday, February 26th, 7 p.m. People's Church of the Harvest. That's 3570 West 5th Avenue. Shout out to some of the city staff that are blowing me up to make sure that we know what's going on. No RSVP is needed. Just show up. We are asking the hard questions. Thank you, Brother Chris Hodges. And then shout out to Christian Perry, who, when we had the conversation, you said it, Mayor, we got to know, the people have to know what you guys are doing, because you're doing amazing things. And if they don't know, they can't take part of some of these resources. So before you go, final question, what's your vision for Black Chicago over the next 4 years, and what do you need from the community to help make it a reality?
Yeah, so I want to repopulate the city of Chicago with our people. It's this point, just simple, is that, you know, of the population loss that we've experienced in Chicago is coming from one community, and that's the Black community. So my vision for Black Chicago is to create space and opportunities for our people to live in the city of Chicago and experience the vibrancy of our city. And the thing that you can do is, one, stay engaged with my administration, you get a chance to come out to these community meetings. We want to make sure that government, and this was raised earlier, is a lot closer to the people. That's always been my goal, is a co-governance model, and that includes our budget. That includes opportunities for developers to participate in the investments that we're making. Again, to have a city that is thriving and prosperous and that the people are healthy, particularly our mental and behavioral health. That's why we expanded our CARE program, the Crisis Assistance Response Engagement, where when 911 calls take place for mental health crises, a behavioral health mental health crisis professional will show up and not a police officer.
That's good.
Expanding mental and behavioral health care for our people, creating more affordable homes for our people, and good paying jobs for our people. That's the vision that I have. And what I need is people to stay engaged, stay connected to your office, stay connected to your state reps and state senators, stay connected with me, and let's stay connected with one another, because that is really the strength of our people group, is that we show love one for another. So thank you, Action Jackson. Thank you to all of the beautiful Black women that are in studio today. I do want to give a shout out, of course, to my wife. You know, it's been the love of my life, and she always teases me. She says, Mayor, I love you, and you may have won an election, but I made history.
Well, Mayor, I got to say, you made history here, too. Usually when I'm overpowered by women, I don't get to say nothing. You got them all quiet. They just listen to you. You got to come with me every day, because this is the quietest time you ever been. But no.
We want to make sure we make the news that you want to make, because when you have the Black press, we want whatever news you want in the news.
That's
and
it.
So when you leave, what's the news? Because everybody not covering you right. I protect my West Side.
Listen, we have to, and I'm glad you said that. And Mayor Johnson, I appreciate you for doing what you did, coming on the Brunch Bunch, and for committing to come frequently so that we can help get the word out. Because our goal is to magnify the great work that you're doing, because some people just don't know. And so we appreciate you. Thank you, Mayor Brandon Johnson, for joining us. Listen, we're praying for the mayor. I don't care if you agree with him, if you voted for him, whatever. He is the mayor. Right. And God has called us to pray for one another. And we don't have to always agree to send a prayer up. So we're asking God to continue to protect him and that he continues to win. And you know what? When we get back, we're going to keep winning, because we're coming back with Win-Win Communications is winning right here on the Brunch Bunch. All right. We made it work.
You definitely did. That was tight. That was good, though.
All right.
Well, this whole Congress thing needs so much
I
prayer.
text like, wait, I think I want to go to D.C. That's going to be tough.
Seriously. But he should take a delegate with him.
He should take fastest. He should take the FOI.
But you know what? I saw a lady from Mississippi put up a post about him. She said they don't know what they just did by inviting him to testify, because they may think many things about him, but one thing he good at is speaking. And he got some good clapbacks. He got some good,
unapologetically.
All right, Zoe, 20 more seconds. Drop that win-win intro. Let's roll. Wynona, you tell us I'm going to bring it right to you. You go whatever direction you want to go.
Danny. My shades. You're exactly right. Yesterday I had a eye appointment. I saw these glasses. I was like, no, I don't want no prescription in them. I just want to wear them.
We are. Listen, first of all, it's your main man, Action Jackson, and I just want you all to know how excited I am always to be sitting next to.
Yeah, you so tongue-tied.
Yeah, you do that to me.
It's your girl Tamara on the air. We are sitting with literally some movers, shakers, powerful women, some of the most powerful women in this city. And we are very happy to have you. And Mother Wade, thank you so much for gracing us. Of course, you guys know we'd love to see you. 50 women coming up. 50 more women. I mean, every year you all find the best and the brightest Chicago and the surrounding cities have to offer and highlight them. Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you. And thank you to Win-Win Communications, because when I'm in these rooms at these great events and I hear Win-Win is a partner or a sponsor, I know I'm in the right room. And you partner and help the Chicago Defender Women of Excellence. Why is this such an important cause to you, Wynona?
Well, you know, we were just saying it's more than 365 days black, and it's more than just, you know, it's shining the light on hidden figures. But I'm so excited. Real Times Media has covered, you know, Diana Lewis is a sister from another mother. Yeah. She has done so much. But with Karen Dilligard, I don't know how many folks you've recognized, what the grand total of women. I was in the inaugural class.
In 2007.
In 2007, and since then, you've had how many women of excellence?
Approximately 850, and as of
wow.
March 21st, 900.
Wow.
And I know you brought Karen in, and you all have been wreaking havoc. How many men of excellence?
850, and June 13th will make 900.
I'm glad to be in the number.
And there is the Who's Who in Black coming up, but when you look at the Women of Excellence, there are also special awards. So if you were a woman of excellence over those since 2007, they have special honorees that if you were a woman of excellence, you can come back and be a special honoree. And we have Mother Wade in the house, who was last year
Lifetime Achievement recipient.
Now, Diana,
I love you too.
Before we go, because we always run out of time, but this has been a very impactful show. Can you highlight some of the honorees this year? Because there may be some people listening.
I want to talk about the unstoppable voices, leading with purpose and inspiring through action, and starting with Valerie Jarrett.
Wow.
Valerie Jarrett is the longest serving senior advisor to a U.S. president, and she's the CEO of the Obama Foundation.
Wow.
She will be the Lifetime Achievement.
Woo!
What day is this event? When, where,
Friday, March 21st.
Is it sold out yet?
Sheridan, Chicago. So we're excited. We are not sold out yet. A few tickets are left.
We want to be sold out by Friday, so let's get it going. Let's get it cracking.
But who are the other special honorees?
Okay, so then we also have Illinois Senate Majority Leader Kimberly A. Lightfoot.
Woo!
The leader. And none other than ABC7's own Cheryl Burton, who is the TV news anchor for WLS-TV.
All right. You got some great ones.
And then you've got Mother Wade in the house. And Mother Wade has shared that she's been a history maker, but to have her recipes being recognized, it's saying beyond bricks and mortar.
Yeah.
She's mentored so many corporate women. She's done so much work, and she's one of the survivors because you were there with all of your sister friends, the Willie Barrow and Addie Wyatt.
The oldest one that's left now.
What did you all do? You all made history. You
they
all
made a
did
mayor.
Civil rights.
We did you
made mayors.
We made mayors.
You helped Reverend Jackson.
We made Carol Mo's the Bronx. Yeah. And we met in the basement of Addie Wyatt's house. And I called that the White House. But most things came from a close circle around Reverend Barrow and Reverend Eddie. And we did a lot. We supported the Black church burnouts. So you name it, we've done it. I was just talking to someone, and I won't call her name, that's affiliated with the White Sox with Jerry Reinstein. I was a part of the White Sox getting all the land around that church.
Wow.
Around that ball field from the churches. They wanted to give $5 and $10. Clay Evans called me, and we made them give $30 and $40 to me.
Mother Wade, we got to get you back for Women's History Month.
Today we were able
to
say this is history. We love you and we thank you.
Thank you.
And this is history, and with Real Times Media,
Ongoing.
The events, but you read about us in the news. So.
What's their website, real quick, before we get out for tickets?
And everybody should support them.
ChicagoDefender.com.
Get your tickets.
You can still be a sponsor.
It's one of the greatest events in the city. It is going down March 21st. Unfortunately, we are out of time, but we are never out of content. Ladies, we thank you for joining us on the Brunch Fund. We encourage you to keep Love 24 alive. Tell someone that you don't know that you love them. Tell someone that you do know that you love them. Love will spread like a wildfire. Tamara Fair on the air, I love you.
I love you, Action Jackson.
Believers, we love you. Baby Eminem, we love you too. We out. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, guys.
You guys, thank you so much for
See you
joining us. Truly do appreciate you spending time and space with us for this power hour. You know, it's always our aim to send you back better than you came. So definitely keep those prayers up for Mayor Johnson as he goes to Washington. It's no small feat that he is going there to defend the democracy of not only Chicago but Illinois as a whole, and to represent a Black America. So we definitely appreciate you all. We'll see you tomorrow.
See ya.
Peace.
Let me show you the name of the company. You need to know this company.